recording, so we'll.
Okay. Which is
recording the audio. Yeah, it says it's recording the audio and video. So, all right. So, okay, what I'm going to do is press the spatial difference, and well, just read that. It says performs spatial performs spatial masking. That is, performs a difference operation using the touch operator. You know what? You can look it up in the documentation like this. Sorry. Where do you go? You go here. Help. Spatial difference.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go.
Oh, wait a minute. I just saw something. It's like.
Here we go.
Yeah. Dial.
Spatial difference.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a spatial difference workflow or something.
Yeah, well, this is. I think it almost.
There's some pretty nice documentation here if you like spend some time actually digging into it.
Yeah.
I used a lot of this stuff in the document. I mean, I lifted a lot of stuff out of here in the documentation that I gave you guys. But whatever. Okay, that's not working out. Look, this is what it does. It basically takes one polygon layer and says, okay, cut holes in my polygon layer based on this other polygon layer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut holes in the ownership layer wherever there's overlap from these. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to take these and populate them into ownership. Into the holes. That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So, all right. No, not spatial intersection, spatial difference. Okay, so input features from features in ownership, subtract features in this stuff. All right? And I'm just going to give it a fill so you can easily see the result. So it's thinking about it. The mice are turning on their little hamster wheels.
You think ArcGIS has something like this going on right now?
Oh, yeah, totally.
I've always wondered how to do this type of donut hole thing. It's driven me mad every time I try to do it. I just wish I knew how.
I have no doubt that there is some tool or combination of tools in ArcGIS that can do that.
All right. It's just, if I'd only known about this years ago. I mean, you'd think it would be intuitive, but anyhow.
It's intuitive to me.
Yeah. I mean, within software is what I meant, but no, I really applaud you for this, Adam. This is really amazing.
All right, so I'm going to turn off the old ownership. I'm going to turn and bring this down here. So you will see now that, okay, the gray, right, is the result. And what we've done is we've punched holes in the gray wherever there is a red boundary polygon. So see, this is this polygon. See? Mm-hmm. So, all right, I'm going to create a place to output this result. So, warehouse, a new warehouse. It has to be an access warehouse because I need something to write to. Output data. Lands, all right. What does it think I'm connecting to something? cancel. Sorry, not connecting. Creating a new warehouse. New warehouse. So I'm creating a new file, not a connecting to an existing one. Why? Okay, so remember in GeoMedia, every time you run a command, the output is a query, not a. Remember, I spent a bunch of time kind of hammering that whenever you run a command, the output isn't a physical like file that goes somewhere. It's just a query that runs at runtime. So what we want to do now is out this query, spatial difference query, to our output database that I just created. All right, and I'm just going to call it ownership new, and I'm get a new key. All right, and I'm going to say go, and it's going. Great, output complete. So let's clean up our mess a little bit. I'm just going to delete everything off the map except for this new layer we just created called ownership new. Back this just a hair. All right. Quinn, what's the next step?
I'm sorry?
What's the next step, Quinn?
So do we have to, I'm thinking we want to put the USFS route into the new ownership. So the USFS route layers, so we're going to identify all the geometry within the all routes.
So you're saying the route layer.
Oh, yes.
So, okay, well, I'll just stop you right there because the answer is no.
You're working on the battery.
Yeah, it's too soon to jump to routes. Right now, this is our new ownership layer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that
so you haven't
layer?
had? No, you don't have the US forest, right?
Well, we don't have any of the. What we've done is we took the old ownership layer, we cut out the parts that are covered by the federal lands layer, the federal lands minus Forest Service layer.
Yes.
And now what we need to do is populate this new ownership layer with the data that we cut out.
Yes. And then we cut it
right?
again.
Because not all of California is covered here. Like what's the ownership right here?
Yeah.
Or right
federal
here.
Should be. Okay.
So we haven't finished processing the ownership layer.
Yes, we haven't.
So let's do that. Let's add this guy to the map just so we can prove.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And maybe I'll just here just to make the point. So, right? The yellow is what we cut out of the gray.
Mm-hmm.
And now we need to put that yellow into the gray. So, is this making sense? Because what was in the gray before was its own set of boundaries, and now we've perfectly carved out boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that we can
makes sense.
Okay, so all right, moving on then. So the thing is that we have two different data schemas, right? The set of attributes for the yellow is different from the attributes for the gray, although they're pretty similar. Let's look at them as so here's this. Basically, at this point, we've got the geometry part wired. Now we've got to make it so that the attributes from each, I should be using all my real estate here. Make it so the attributes from each line up with each other. So, all right, there's that, and let's also add the new ownership, which is here. Oh yeah, pretty similar. Rock ID, admin department, admin agency, admin unit 1, California State, N. We don't have data code. I guess that's something that you'll have to populate later. Admin unit 2. So, all right. So what we have to do is take these records and get them to fit into this schema. And the fact that we already have a number of similar attributes is it makes things easier. So does the challenge make sense to you guys?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start, I'm tempted to use FME to do this. FME is actually, it's a better tool or to do this particular step, right? But let's just stick with GeoMedia. This might take me a couple tries to get it quite right, but let's take, all right, query of blah, 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 which is in here. We're going to output that to the output database. And actually, we can just check that. And we're going to output it to ownership new. Notice it says append. And I'm tempted to uncheck attributes that we know won't fit anyway, like rock ID. That's not in here, right?
Is that a geologic thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
So we should keep admin department, right? Admin agency, admin unit, they're in both. Admin unit 1, they're in both. Uni 1, uni underscore, one's uni underscore 1. You know what you can do? You see how this is admin uni 1 and this is admin un underscore 1?
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah.
It won't know, so the software won't know that this data belongs in this column because it's a slightly different column name. Yeah, so we can actually rename it like this. Uni underscore 1. And now it'll know where to go. CA state N, that's good. Notes won't go anywhere. State modified. Shape length, shape area, whatever. Geometry. Yep. Okay. Let's see if it works. So let me tell you what should happen is I'll press OK. GeoMedia will copy the data from here, from this guy, pump it into ownership new, and then the map will update. All these yellow areas will become gray. Well, yeah, they'll get filled in here. You know what? Let me scan it. Oh well. Okay, here we go. No, it's working. Amazing.
So far.
Yeah. I'm always amazed when the software works.
Yeah. No, I like this a lot. I mean, I don't know when I'm actually going to be able to do something like this, but I do like it a lot. I'll look to the recording in a hurry if I have to again. But yeah, Brian honestly did have me working on a project where we went out to the parks within the state and we asked them for their mileage or mileages of the roads that supposedly met, well, if they met certain criteria. And a lot of the parks only had stuff like cocktail napkins. So
see it growing down here? You see the number of records growing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So basically, you just append all the data from the query of everything except US to the new ownership, and then we're going to do it again with the Forest Service boundary, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, there are portions where the Forest Service boundary overlaps new ownership and portions of new ownership that have just been filled in with the query of everything but USFS.
Okay.
Going back to the last one in wins thing.
Well, then that would sound like there's some edge matching type of stuff. You know.
Well, the nice thing about this workflow is that the edge matching is perfect.
Okay.
It's gonna come out perfectly because the holes were cut based on what you're going to populate it with.
Yep. Okay.
The topology will be perfect.
All right. I mean, it's more for the other two to worry about than me. I just got the email from Brian last week saying, hey, we got this webinar coming up, and it probably ties in to FME. I didn't know it was going to be about the Forest Service lands and all that, and that just made me click on, I mean, what I did for Brian a while back and so forth. But, I mean, I don't know how it'll work with the distribution if we wanted to do it again. I mean, but, yeah, I mean, I just know with other projects from way back, you know, we always had, for highway system stuff, HPMS stuff, there were issues with boundaries of certain things up against others and so forth. So yeah, I mean that's why I perked up when with the edge matching thing.
Yeah, you know, actually that gets me thinking a little bit. That you know, it seems like the management of these sort of base layers that you can use. Like it seems like what I'm doing now might more logically be a function of the GIS unit. I don't know.
Could be.
Just kind of thinking out loud.
No, it makes very good sense. I mean, if we're going to have this layer and it's going to be basis for a whole bunch of other stuff, I would say make sure everything's typed before you even go out of the store. Yeah. There you go.
Output complete.
All right. So now I'm going to turn off this, and voila. Like magic. Okay, yeah. So that's cool. Now let's do the same thing with the Forest Service. Who wants to drive?
I'll let them have the fun.
It's not gonna be me. So if you guys want this to get done, who do I give control to?
One of those, because I haven't had a chance to fumble around with this stuff. I didn't know what I was getting myself into today.
Whoever, I nominate Quinn. If Quinn, I expect you to mess up, so don't. Right? Yeah. I need you to embrace failure. So
I didn't even get my own.
I'm giving you control, Quinn.
Oh,
darn it. You know what? I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong button. To make myself the presenter again. All right. Show this screen too. All right, can you see me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give the controls to Quinn.
Oops.
All right, there you go, Quinn.
Okay. So let's go to the analysis, right? And then, I have to add the battery.
Then
Yeah, but you have to add the
Oh, hey, Quinn, there's like sort of like a delay effect on your voice. There was like echo. Is there a way you can like put on headphones maybe, or?
I'm using my phone.
Oh, better. It's all fixed now. Whatever you did, fixed it.
Okay.
You're doing great. But wait a minute, stop. Okay. So look at the way the dialog boxes always work in GeoMedia. Is it says, okay, from features in some layer, like do this thing to some other layer, or based on some other layer. So I find it very instructive to read these things really carefully.
Okay.
so you have to use the other one.
So from features in some layer, you want to subtract features in some other layer.
Oh, okay, got it. So the other one, this one needs have to be new ownership.
That's right, yeah.
And this one gonna be the USFS.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking opposite way.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So,
You'll in the dialog boxes, like study those words because they choose those words very carefully.
Okay. These look good. Red.
Sure.
And then okay.
So essentially, it's layer from features is the layer we want to use the cut to cut from the bigger layer, correct?
Yeah, we're cutting holes in ownership new based on polygons within the Forest Service boundaries.
Okay.
This is going to take a minute or two because it's just, I mean, if you think about it, it's a lot for it to have to process. Looks pretty promising. You know what I would do, Quinn, is just to kind of make myself comfortable that it did what I wanted. I would
turn off the layer.
Turn off the forest.
Turn off. At a minimum, I would fill in the result of the command you just ran, which is the spatial difference layer. I would fill in those polygons with a color so you can see that they are where. Because right now you just see that. Yeah, sure. Right now you're just seeing the outlines of polygons. So here,
right.
And it would be nice to see like, okay, what's the inside and what's the outside? And the easiest way to do that, you got to click right on the symbol here. Say fill. So now it's much more clear what's in and what's out.
Okay.
And the other thing is, is to turn this on, because this is what you cut from or based upon. You pull it top and fatten them up so you can see them. So does it look right to you?
Yep, it looks good.
Looks good to me.
Mhm.
So I guess what we need to do now is create a new ownership new layer. So what I would do, what I would do is create. That's right. Is create a new, use output to feature class to output what's currently called ownership new to yet another layer called ownership new 2. So yeah, yep.
And is that query?
And queries.
The last one, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Say no to that. Whenever you use this command, you always have to press the Advanced tab. It's just it's something you always have to do. And what you want to do now is let's name your target feature class ownership underscore new 2.
Ownership new.
Yeah, you know what? Generally, I recommend you not have spaces in your layer names. That's cool.
Okay.
But with a 2, so that it's clear, so it's easily distinguishable from the other one.
Oh yeah. Is it good?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, run it. Can you see it? You can see it counting down here. In case you're ever, when you run this, sometimes you're like, God, is it doing anything? It's nice to have that feedback there. All right, so go ahead and say okay to this. So all right, so let's get rid of everything except for the U.S. Forest Service boundaries layer. Can you delete those out of the legend? Delete everything out of the legend except for the Forest Service boundary. All right, let's bring in ownership new 2. Okay. All right, what's the next step?
We're gonna append the tables, the data, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or should we right click or?
So data window, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing.
Okay. So this one.
Okay, we want to compare that to what?
To the Forest Service.
Yep.
At the bottom.
Oh yeah.
The other one.
The boundary.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see both window at once?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to drive just for a quick sec. Press this right here.
Uh-huh.
Now you have actually, let me get rid of these old ones that are no longer relevant. So what you want are these 2. And all right, I'll let you arrange the windows however you want.
Excuse me.
Kip, do you remember what to do from here? I forgot. You want to take turn to do the rest?
All right. Should I pass it over to Hip?
Oh, but don't you have to have the same header and all that?
Right. I forgot that step.
I don't remember it either.
We need to
Oh,
edit.
come on. Come on, guys.
I would rely on the recording.
All right. I'll refresh your memories. So, okay, think of it this way, right? This is our source, right? This is our source. And this is our target.
Okay.
So what we want to do is sort of line up. Oh, yeah, nothing lines up now.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Nothing lines up. All right then. Fantastic. Let's do this. Let's
Can we just create a new column, I guess? See, it's not.
No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we want to append. We don't want to add.
Yeah. Well, you want to add records, but you don't want to add columns.
Right.
And the reason for that, Hip, or if that, I don't know if that was Hip or Aaron, but either way.
It was Hip.
Okay. The reason you don't want to add columns is because this is data, right? And ultimately, you want to be able to ask, like, I mean, okay, forest name is here, right? And it seems to me that forest name logically belongs in this column based on what I'm seeing over here. And you need to be able to ask that question in one place, not two places.
Right. Basically, we update the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think we should do a little bit of trickery here. Like the admin, it looks to me like the admin agency ought to be FS for what we're doing, and this department ought to be USDA, and the unit can come from here. And
I think the
guess,
admin unit, you can just put it together with the forest name. I mean, forest name, put it together with admin unit, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's all you need, I guess.
What I'm thinking is functional attributes, because we know what all these values should be. And we could create functional attributes in GeoMedia and just output those. So, and name them exactly as they're named in the target. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, bear with me here. This is the way I'm going to do this. We're going to create functional attributes. All right. And the input for these functional attributes will be U.S. Forest Service boundaries in California. And I don't know. I'm just guessing from looking at this data here, this other data, that whatever DE unit CO, does that mean anything to you guys?
No.
No, we don't use them.
Okay. What do you use? Data code, probably, huh?
Yes.
Well, we know the data code is going to be
64.
Is data code is that all you use?
For the Forest Service, yes. It's going to be 64.
There. Well, there's data code. Oh, hey, somebody took. So what I'm doing is adding columns, but they're automatically generated columns. So let me maybe, let's see, admin unit. It looks like that's consistent with forest name. So I'm going to put in forest name and say admin unit. And that's probably all you really care about. I'll add USFS for admin agent. Admin agent. So now we have a functional attributes query of Forest Service. So I'm turning on the data window for that. Let's see what I've done. Now we have matching columns. Does that make some sense?
Yes.
Okay. So these are automatically calculated columns. All right. So now we can just say, all right, managed it. Okay. Hip. Output to feature class. Go ahead and do the output to feature class exercise.
Okay.
So do you remember what? But there's a little bit of a twist this time around. So.
Yeah, that's something else, right?
So what we're outputting now is not just the Forest Service boundary. It's the functional attributes query of the Forest Service boundary, because we created a query. Yeah.
Click OK. No,
you need to. Oh, you're not going to change the name. Yeah.
What's the target feature class?
The target feature class is ownership new too?
New.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it?
Let's do one more thing. I want you to highlight the, yeah, there you go. And let's look at the source attributes.
Select source attribute.
All right, and let's get rid of the attributes that we're not even going to try to move over.
Yeah, when I learned about this from a Hexagon tech support guy, this was pretty huge.
Hey, wait. You unclicked one that's probably the most important one to keep.
The forest name? Which one is it? Oh, the GIS information? The shape area?
No.
Oh, it's not? Geometry?
Yes. So something, that gets me thinking. Okay, listen. In the world of GIS, and frankly, in the world of all GIS except for ArcGIS, geometry is nothing more than just another column of data.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Geometry is just another column of data.
Okay.
It's special data because you can see it on a map. But and let me just drive home that point a little bit more thoroughly than maybe I have before. Let's look at this routes database in Access. All right? And here, this is the table that actually contains the routes layer. All right? We got record ID, we've got route ID, we've got begin measure, end measure, some other random ID. But then we got this geometry column.
Oh.
And it just says long binary data. But the point is that it's like encoded data, right? That is encoded in a way that GeoMedia can render it on a map for you.
Oh, okay.
It's just another column of data. It's just data. Geometry is data. And it's really important to really cogitate that. Like there's nothing that separates geometry from other kinds of data. It's all just data.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Sort of. All right. So, and I'm going to keep these two also, just because.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and press the OK button, and I think you can go ahead and kick it off. This one should run fairly short, right? Because there's only 18 records. You sure you want to do it?
Yes.
All right. Great.
So it's finished. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Close this up. And then, so when I turn this one up, it should show everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's fill in ownership. Fill in ownership so we can see that everything's accounted for.
You say fill it up?
Yeah, fill it in with color. All right.
Nope.
Good.
Looks good. Maybe expand the map window so we can just see the state.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. How do I extend the window?
There you go. Here, I'm going to drive real quick and just show you.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Just click that.
Yeah, I clicked that one already.
So it looks like it worked.
Uh-huh.
My biggest concern. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so go ahead. No, I was just asking, like, what's the next step with the route, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You should save it first.
Well, the data are saved.
Okay.
So I guess my biggest concern at this point would be if we made some. It would be that if we made some mistake and there's overlap between polygons, and the easiest way to just very quickly check for that is to use translucency. So if there are polygons overlapping each other, we should see a darker color. And I'm not seeing anything.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And also, yeah. And if we hover anywhere, we'll get what's the word? We'll get ellipses. But it looks like we're good.
Okay.
So yay! Here's your new ownership layer. There's a few things that you're going to have to worry about, particularly data code. So
I think we can. Yeah.
You'll have to populate those.
Okay.
The easiest way to do that is, the way I would approach that is I would say, okay, let's build a query where output should be 2, where data code is null. And color them a blazing red color. Yeah, it's taking a while. Ooh, hey. All right, so
I think most of them it should be empty because of the boundary that I sent to you doesn't have the data code.
say that again.
The boundary, the forest, everything except USFS, doesn't have any data code, so that's why we have a lot of red right here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Filters in no, remember?
Yeah.
So it's fine for stuff to not have a data code?
Yeah,
for now, I think.
we can fill it later since we have the column with the forest name.
Uh-huh.
And I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, look, let me just make the point. I mean, this would be a 64, right? The data code?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to type in 64. And you'll see.
That one is National Park Service.
Oh, sorry, my bad. All right.
Yeah.
What about this?
That should be 66. Forest, yeah, there you go, 64.
Okay, 64. I'm going to type 64 in here. Is that null anymore? Is that null?
No. No.
Okay, so it's going to drop. So it just dropped off the map.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
But do we have to do it manually, or do we
No.
have any automatic? Yeah.
No, let's do this. So we know Forest Service because of this, right? So let's do some cleanup. Like, let's change this query. The attribute query of ownership 2, where data code is null, and admin agency. Oh, it's going to think for a while. This is what we want. So where data code is null and admin agency agent equals, I'm double clicking on FS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right.
Okay.
So this is all the Forest Service polygon. So now what we can do is, remember that update attributes stuff that we went over? So update attributes, attribute query of ownership new 2. So we're limiting what we're updating to only the stuff in this attribute query.
Yes.
Data code 64, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. 64. All right. All right. I'm going to uncheck this, double check I'm doing everything right. Apply.
Is it running?
I think so. Should be.
Update complete.
Yeah. You know what it should do that it didn't do is it should update the map. Annoying.
Yeah.
I think
all right.
in the query we put 64 and no. That's why.
But yeah, that's the point. Is 64 is not null.
Yeah.
But it's not null right now anymore.
Yeah, it's not null anymore. It shouldn't be read. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
because you put the data code equals 64.
No, it should be and statement, so both of them has to be true.
Yeah, both have to be true.
And oh yeah. Okay.
Anyhow, whatever. It's just GeoMedia. GeoMedia. You know what? GeoMedia is software, and software has bugs.
Yep.
That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met a piece of software without a bug. So I'm gonna just this will work. I'm just gonna close this connection to the database. Open it because this is the connection that is being read out of right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this totally applies, but I remember when you do a certain type of thing, a certain type of operation, or you create a new something, you do have to update your list, update your connection. Well, yeah, like what you're doing right now. Well, you have an opportunity to do reopen connection, but I don't know if that would apply here.
Oh, no,
reopen connection, yeah. I don't know, maybe that would do what you're talking about, how it should have made everything 64, would have turned, anyway.
It would do the same exact thing. I just chose to say close and reopen as two separate steps.
All right.
For you.
Okay.
So, there you go. See that now there's 0 records in the query. Let's look for other examples. You know what? Let's just look at it in data window. So I guess maybe the point is that at this point it's all well and good that we've done this cool kind of geometry surgery, but we still have some data cleanup to do. So to answer your question from a few minutes ago, Hip, that's the next step. is to clean up your mess. So let's look at other stuff. So data code is what you actually use in the HPMS submittal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So look at all this stuff. A lot of BLM. So is there a code for BLM?
Yes, we do have the code for BLM. It's 68.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna update this query to actually just admin agent equals
No.
ELM. Okay. Vector, update attributes, attribute query, and you said 68?
Yes.
Yep.
You see it down here?
Mm-hmm. Updating in the loading bar. So I guess you are trying to fill up all the data code that's missing.
Yeah. Yep.
Because when you do the route, you're gonna use the data code as a return value or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
when we do the routes, what we're trying to do is get the ownership layer in order.
Oh, okay.
And then after we're done getting the ownership layer in order, then we'll do a completely separate operation, which is compare the all roads routes against the Forest Service routes and
yes,
and make updates to all roads as appropriate. All right, that's good. See, now we got all these 68s. Sort of sending again, see what else floats to the top of the pile.
You know, maybe this is just being spontaneous here, but I almost kind of wonder if, because you're talking about two different sets of polygons, I mean, everything that's Forest Service and everything outside of it, if maybe some of what Brian had me doing might even apply here. With, you know, one of the projects they had was having me look at functional class 1 through 6 routes that would start within an urban area, go outside of it and come back in, or start outside, go in, back and forth, that kind of a thing, like 3 different big types of sets, and drove hexagon math, ultimately got post mile values or odometer values that covered the in and out segments and so forth. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could say I actually understand the problem, but
yeah.
Sure.
It's big time spatial set theory is what it is.
Okay. So, is there a code for state lands?
I think that's cool, but then, you know, the definition that we have in HPMS is kind of different. Hey, Brian, you still there?
No, he's not. He's out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure the correct code.
So maybe we can just use the admin unit as the reference right now, and produce the data code later. Like I think we understand the process that you're doing right now, so we probably go on.
Okay.
Finish. Yeah.
All right. Fine. Let's see. I guess what I should. Okay. There's maybe a few. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Also, I'll send you this ownership.
Yeah, that'd be great.
File.
Yeah.
You know, let me do one last thing to the ownership file, which is this. Okay. I'm going to just rename it to something. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get rid of this old ownership new business.
Yeah, we don't use it. Yeah.
You don't need it. Delete it, and I'm going to rename, edit this. What? Fine. Okay. I'm going to rename it to ownership with maybe call it what month is it? October 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So we can get rid of all that. Great. All right. New issue. Let's. I'm just gonna get rid of. Let's see. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna change this to green, and call and update this query to Forest Service.
Okay.
You know, once you actually have those data codes populated, there's some things you can do to clean this up more.
I mean, I think we can extract it out to the Excel and then we do some dissect the table, maybe quicker than the
No.
FS.
Well, you know what I would actually do is I would do all that work in Access.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, the reality is, right, this output database is right here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
And here's ownership October 2010. You can do everything. This is the same table that we've been working.
Oh, okay. I can just update it in here and then it's updated over in GMeter.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that.
What were we wondering about?
Okay, so here's the Forest Service lands. Let's bring in. I'm going to get rid of all those old queries we don't need anymore.
Okay.
So I'm holding the Shift key to get all of them, and I can just hit delete. Great. All right, let's bring in those Forest Service routes. So I should forewarn you. I only have a pretty rough idea of how I think this should be approached. Actually, we need to make a query, right? We need to say we're only concerned with Forest Service routes that meet some criteria. What's that criteria, Hip?
Operation 3, 4, and 5.
This? No, this?
Yeah, that one. No, the name that they have is different. It's not just 3, 4, and 5. You have to show value, so it might be more accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, brother. All right, fine. In free, comma, 4, comma, 5. There's lots of ways to do this. You could say operation maintenance equals this, or operation maintenance equals that. You could use or statements to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But you'll have to trust me, this works too. So, all right, attribute query of forest routes. Great. All right, let's get rid of it. All right. Boy, is this really what we want? I mean, all these isolated. I don't know about this, guys. These don't look like very valid routes to me. Because,
Yeah, it doesn't look connected from one to another.
yeah.
But that is what they have when they send it to us. So.
Well, all right. I'm gonna. Well, let's keep moving forward, and we might have to make a decision to. Wait, I'm gonna zoom into this area right here and put. Have you guys used spatial filters ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good because your life will be much better if you learn how to use spatial filters. So overlap. All right, and now I'm going to bring in routes, like all roads routes. And I'm going to make these that. And I'm going to make these like this so we can see them.
Okay.
And sorry, I'm just trying to not let my eye get distracted by unnecessary boundaries here. Yeah, there we go. Is it easy for you guys to see where there's a semblance of overlap between all roads and the Forest Service routes, where there's not?
Yeah.
Like, here's a bright red area right here, and but then the rest of it is more or less covered.
You know, I had a question.
Yeah.
The red line is the Forest Service routes, right?
It's Forest Service route filtered by 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, so it's supposed to be inside of the ownership boundary, the Forest Service, the green color, right?
Well, yes and well, yeah, sure. I mean, that's a difficult. Supposed to be, I guess. I mean, it isn't.
Yeah, there's some lines is falling out of the green color.
Yep.
That is the Forest Service issue right there.
So that
Yeah.
means the battery that we get from CRS is might not correct.
No. The battery.
No, you don't know that.
The battery that they sent it to us, right?
Yeah, they say it's the latest one already. So whatever they say, we just assume it's right. So.
Okay.
It isn't. The thing is, Quinn, in GIS, there's no such thing as correct.
Okay.
I mean, it's look. Your point is valid that relative to the roads, like there seems to be like either the roads are off or the boundary is off, or it's actually a known thing that there are some roads that are not entirely inside of the boundary.
Okay.
I mean, and I don't know what's the answer there. I mean.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Oftentimes, people will see like spatial data, like road data, for example, on top of aerial imagery, and the road data may not land on the road on the aerial photo. And
that is true too.
The inclination for your mind is to say, well, that road is in the wrong place. But who's to say that it's in the? Who's to say that it could be in the right place? It's the aerial photo that's off.
Right.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm saying. So look, I gotta say, looking at the Forest Service road data in comparison to the all roads data, it's well, even in not comparison to the all roads data. I mean, just look at it. It's I don't know what to say about it. It doesn't seem like a reliable source of information about routes to me. Does it to you guys? Because it's so disconnected.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but.
I mean, whose call is this?
This federal agency we got from federal. So every year FHWA send us the summary, the total length, the single line mile of every federal agency. So, and compared with last year, this year we have like way more longer center line. So we want to identify like why we have a lot compared to last year. Maybe we cover all the the inaccessible road. So that's why we have to see, and then we request the data, the segments from the Forest Service, and this is what they send it to us.
Well, this looks inaccessible to me.
Yeah.
How do you get there?
I think for whatever they list as 3, 4, and 5, it's just up to them, and for us, it's just like reporting what they give us. So I mean, the data doesn't look like reasonable right there, but for the task, I think we have to just trying to figure out where are the location on the route file we have.
Okay, I mean, we can do that, and I'll go through how to do that. But I would just say that, like, I don't know, maybe somebody higher than you guys' pay grade should like take a look at this and
right.
and think about it critically, not just monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it doesn't look right. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, I think this we need to discuss with Eric Wong and Mandy.
Okay. All right.
To see what they're gonna think about this.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Maybe here. Let me do this. Let me turn this on and take a little screenshot for you. Although this will be on this recording, huh?
Yeah, I have a screenshot of it ready too.
Oh, okay, great. All right, well, let's move on to less the what and more the how. So what I've been thinking about this is what I've been thinking about is All right, we've got these roads. Do you know any of the attributes of these roads?
Not really. Besides 3, 4, or 5, that's it. Operation maintenance.
Hey, who keeps grabbing the mouse from me?
Oh, you have to turn me up the control.
Okay, all right.
I'm keep on moving in and out.
It's all right, no problem. I'm gonna uncheck and uncheck. There we go. All right. Okay, so look, these are the steps I want to do. I want to I'm gonna break up. If you look at if you look at any line, you know, I'm just gonna turn this off real quick. All right, if you look at this red line, and so I selected it, and now I'm gonna right-click and look at the geometry information.
Oh yeah.
What this is this is a series of. This basically is telling you what are the actual coordinates of every point along the line, of every vertex on the line. So,
okay.
So I'm gonna go to geometry information. All right, and see the red dot moving along as I scroll down.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat. So
It's huge.
next thing I'm gonna do is so the reality is that every line is composed of a series of points that are related to each other. So what I'm going to do is for all these red lines, I'm going to decompose them so that they're broken apart. So there's a lot more individual lines, but each line only has 2 vertices. And really, look, what I'm really trying to do is decompose the lines into points, into a long series of points. And I'm going to compare those points to the locations of all roads routes. So this route here, what I expect is that this road here won't find a partner all roads route, but this road will, right? Because it's pretty close. So what I'm trying to do is a spatial analysis, and it's much easier to do spatial analysis of points to lines than from lines to lines.
Okay.
And you get more accurate results generally. So and by the way, I'm just kind of following my nose right now. I don't have every step planned out here. So I'm open to ideas, you know. All right. So what am I going to do? I am going to use. Look in my toolbox. I think there's base geometry. Generate base geometry. Generate topological base geometry. Decompose and topological key. Find out what happens here. Why? This might do it. No, didn't. All right. What I wanted to have happen is get a point for every one of those vertices. But I only got a point at the end of the line, which is not what I wanted. Let me try that again. let's do edges.
Maybe symbolization maybe needs to be different.
No,
maybe.
It's still just one line. It's all still one big line. I want to break it down into a long series of lines. So, all right, I'm going to take another approach. Use functional attributes on this attribute query. There's geometry. Turns. Densified geometry. Returns multiple geometries by expanding a collection. No. Returns multiple point geometries that are expanded vertices of the input geometry. That could be what we want. See what happens. Feed it that. Feed it. So we're inputting lines, functional attributes, points. This will be interesting.
Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, good. And each point is carrying the attributes of the line that it came from.
So, can I have a quick question? Earlier,
Yeah.
when you drag you hovered your mouse along the line, so it seemed like the interval is very small. But when we look at this line, it looks like the interval is kind of longer. Like how they identify those points.
I don't think it is longer. I think it's the same.
Oh, it's the same. Okay.
I think so. But you know what? I mean, since you brought it up, let's just check. So, all right, I've selected the line, not the points. And I'm going to say geometry information. All right? Yeah, see?
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so maybe the question now is just, all right, what points are not within some distance of, so what are we looking for? We're looking for, basically what we want to do is attribute the all roads features that we should keep.
Yeah, looking for locate the route in the route file that close to the route that we're supposed to keep, right? Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start. I'm gonna, there's a more efficient way to do this than I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show you in a very visual kind of way. So, and then maybe I'll show you the more efficient way in a minute. But let's start with this. Let's create a buffer on these points, functional attribute points. Let's go with, since that's 0.001 miles is everybody's favorite distance variable over there at Caltrans. Let's use that, and I don't know. So if we look, so did you see what I just did?
Mm-hmm.
I created buffers around these points. And I don't know, I mean, I feel like that search radius is pretty small. Like these guys don't touch. What we're trying to...
Maybe we increase to 0.05 mile.
All right. Is everybody happy with that search radius?
I mean, we're just trying to search and try it. Yeah, I think it's good for now.
Okay. So now we can just ask the question, the spatial query, select routes that touch the buffers. And give them a color that will pop a little bit. I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding what color, people. All right. So we're just looking at a small part of the state here. That's why everything is running so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, let me bring this to the bottom. Maybe turn these off. What do you think? So it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not perfect.
Yeah, there's no way it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah. But anyhow, I mean, hopefully the point that I'm hoping to maybe get across is that you can tune this query however you see fit. And maybe in some cases we actually need to flag like this guy as something we need to add to all roads. So there's basically what we need to do is flag the all roads that maybe should, I guess, that are keepers. And also, or I guess what you want to also do is flag. So by extension, you can find the all roads features that are in Forest Service areas that you don't want to include.
Yeah, we could do opposite query.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy though because there's a spatial analysis against the ownership layer, the forest where ownership equals Forest Service.
Maybe you should bring that in as a reference point.
Yeah, sure.
And that it's like higher level spatial set theory here, but at the same time, it sounds like that's where you want to go.
Yeah,
like,
it's doable. I mean, yeah, right. So basically, everything inside of the green that's not colored brown, get rid of it. That's kind of what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, that's the basic idea. Okay.
So, it's 1 o'clock. I got to get going, but just trying to think of what appropriate next steps are here.
Right. We're gonna take this snapshot and give it to our boss to see what they say. But look like this is not the solution. We had to maybe we had to stick with the old method.
Okay, so we
I'm not sure I agree with that, but
yeah, we the Forest Service is the only layer that we get from the federal agencies. We have like few other federal agencies, but none of them give us the shape file. All of them, they just give us the battery, So the Forest Service is the only federal agency that give us like the road name, the segments, and the beginning point, end point.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we're gonna.
Okay. I guess I'll leave it to you to let me know what next steps are. I mean, I'm happy to and I'll think about it a little bit too. Probably call you tomorrow with my thoughts. But I guess with this, it'll have to be good enough that it's not clear what the next step is.
Right. What do you think? Like when you look at these routes, the Forest Service routes, what do you think about it?
I think they're. I guess I don't know enough about what they're intended to represent. I mean, look, my question back to the Forest Service would be this: is what the Forest Service reports to FHWA based on this? That would be my question to them. Like, do you guys use this same data to report information to FHWA? And if the answer is yes, then okay, then I guess we'll just move forward, assuming that this is what we want. And if they're like, no, we would never do that. This is just for making maps of endangered species locations. Then that says something too. That means, oh, well, then this isn't really an appropriate data source for what we're trying to do.
Okay. So we're gonna contact the Forest Service and talk to them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Adam.
All right. You're welcome, guys.
Adam, you're going to send us the recording?
Yeah, I'll figure out how to do that. Yeah.
Hopefully you have it.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome, guys. Bye-bye.
Definitely.